Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about, a few altcoins, and I'm also going to update you guys on, the current market structure. So with that in mind, let's just dive in. Let's talk about a few things. So I don't want to waste your guys' time at all. So when we are talking about things, let me refresh, make sure that we're up to date. So there we go. When we talk about things happening around this current market, we're going to see altcoins kind of take that back seat that we've been addressing multiple times. We're going to see, lower prices as well. And when we talk about this, a lot of people are kind of confused on exactly where we are right now. We're watching Bitcoin closely. We're watching a few altcoins, but for the most part, Bitcoin and Ethereum as well are the ones that we're definitely watching the most, as they do have the most market dominance over this market currently. On the 24-hour span, you guys do see some altcoins, up a little bit, but for the most part, it's only two. The rest of the green is like fractionalized percentages. On the actual 24-hour span, most of them are looking like this, where they are down 5+%, and some of them are down like 4%, etc. Ultimately speaking, we will see a little bit more pain, and I'm actually going to be sharing with you guys a few charts. So let's actually dive over there. Let's talk about it. So XRP currently is down 83.44% from its highs back in April of 2021. Hbar down 87.81% from its highs back in September. Cspr 87.48% down from its highs back in November. QNT down 88.56% from its highs back in September. Now, a lot of these charts, right, could actually come down a little bit lower. I think everybody thinks that, all right, well, that's the max that it could really kind of go down, or we're kind of safe here. No. A lot of these assets are not safe when Bitcoin starts to do a major pullback, if you will. And the reason why is because of how high, Bitcoin dominance actually is. I always try to share with you guys a few things. I've been sharing with you guys this Bitcoin dominance cycle chart for a very long time. And this is, ever more, apparent now than ever before. We have Bitcoin dominance increasing while Bitcoin is also increasing in price. But right now, Bitcoin is actually decreasing. But you guys do see that either situation where Bitcoin, itself is increasing or decreasing, or even, for the most part, stable, you do see exactly what happens to altcoins on the right side. For an example, we are waiting for Bitcoin to kind of stabilize while Bitcoin dominance kind of does whatever it wants to do, which will most likely be increasing. And that is when altcoins become stable. That's when we want to accumulate them. But right now, we're seeing, the top two. We're seeing, Bitcoin having these nice spikes up in price. For an example, just recently over the night, we've seen us go all the way up to like 30.6K. But again, Bitcoin dominance is sitting at about like 46%. So as we do see those slight increases, we still see altcoins not really kind of following through, and they actually decrease as well. Now, of course, we're still watching Bitcoin kind of dropping in price every single time that it does make a little bit of a nice move to the top. For an example, on the 7-day span, you guys could really kind of see this. Here's that nice little move to about like roughly, 32K just recently before it came down, and we're all the way down at like roughly like 29.5K. I know that we came down to like roughly 29.5K recently here as well, but we had that nice impulse to like 30.6K. But this is going to drag altcoins a little bit more. This is why I say, just be a little bit patient on your buy orders. They will most likely be hit. Do not try to FOMO into any positions. If anything, on QNT, I'm watching this $36 range down here. If we get that $36 range, that's going to be perfect. It's going to be a 91.60% drop in price down to my original buy order areas. So that's going to be significant. On Cspr, we don't really know where Cspr could go. We don't have any past or previous support zones around this range. So, when we talk about Cspr could come down a little bit more. If we kind of just follow through with like 92% or so, then we are looking at around roughly like the 2-cent zone. I think that the 2-cent zone definitely is an area that we could be seeing, especially if Bitcoin does allow it. Now, of course, a lot of these price targets are not guaranteed fully. we don't need to go down significantly lower from our area that we are at now, because we could just have a nice little correction from the point that we are at to retest the low that we recently tested back in the beginning of May. But ultimately, I do believe that a lot of these tokens will see a little bit lower. I've been watching, Hbar, for an example, for a test of the January 1st candle. So it's this one down here. This would be pretty significant. This would be about a 95% drop in price. Don't know if we will actually get that sharp of a drop in price, but I could definitely foresee us, getting that nice little 92% almost percentage drop fully on, Hbar. Because altcoins right now are definitely in a bear market. There's no way that they are not when you look at the percentage fractals and also where Bitcoin basically is right now. Bitcoin has been ranging around this range for a while as Bitcoin dominance actually builds up, and this is not good for altcoins. So we are watching for some lower price action. And in fact, I've been watching this 21, almost 22 cent zone for XRP to really, ape in. We don't know exactly if we are going to get that range, but, again, it doesn't matter when we talk about this current market structure. It's the idea that, we don't want to really touch altcoins just yet until we see exactly what Bitcoin wants to do. Now, you guys might be wondering, well, what do you believe that is going to happen with Bitcoin? Well, first off, I've said this, and I was actually quoting Credible Crypto's tweet from yesterday, but I said, altcoins take the back seat while we watch Bitcoin. I have also been expecting lower on altcoins, hence why I have been slowly averaging into short-term positions for quick scalps. Expect 30% plus more pain across the board, like Cred has laid out here. Now, of course, we're not looking for 30% for every single altcoin. There's some altcoins that will have a little bit more strength. There's altcoins that will actually go down a little bit more. We are just watching a few things happening around this market right now. And when we talk about Bitcoin itself, Bitcoin is the star of the show right now. So as we continue to watch Bitcoin and we continue to watch, for an example, even Ethereum, Bitcoin's going to take the show. And this is good in the short term, because when we are talking about Bitcoin right now, we actually want to see Bitcoin make a decisive move, and we want to see it actually push to about 34K. Now, although that is welcoming, so for an example, I've shared with you guys this multiple times in the past as well. So when we talk about where we currently are in regards to Bitcoin, so there's a few levels that I'm watching for. Now, I've addressed where we basically are at currently. I've been addressing 27.7K for a nice retest of the yearly support zone going back as far as January 4th, 2021 on the weekly candle. That's where I want to see us actually come down and retest fully. We could be building out a floor. We could be bottoming out right now on Bitcoin, or we could have that one last major sweep of the lows, even revisiting the candle from May 9th all the way down to 25.3K. This will push altcoins significantly down. You got to remember that this on Bitcoin right now, any real major sweep of the lows, even to test that weekly candle or the yearly candle wick down, that would be about a 6% drop on Bitcoin. And with Bitcoin dominance as high as it is, we'll see altcoins take roughly a 12+% leap, but we won't see them bounce back as Bitcoin climbs because Bitcoin dominance is so high. Now, if we do test this bottom rung here, which would be a retest of the lows recently, that would be about a 14% drop in price, aka, you're looking at almost a 30% roughly drop on altcoins. So we are watching that closely, and it doesn't mean that we're bearish. Trust me, I told you guys I will remain bullish until the crowd follows, because right now there's so many individuals out there that think that we are in a bear market. In my opinion, I don't believe that. I think that right now we are watching something pretty significant play out, and I think that that is this massive zone right before we go on that major move. And I do think that, CoinsKid has this pretty much, perfectly, here in terms of wording. Even a blind man can see peak to peak is taking longer. No blow off top this cycle because we have not peaked yet. Is a huge alt season, coming in 2023, blow off top. What are your top picks going forward? And in my opinion, I do believe that we will see that wave 5. I think that we will see that blow off top event. And it's going to take time. It's going to, take roughly from here almost a year. Now, of course, it doesn't really matter exactly how long this takes, but we definitely are watching this closely. And honestly, it doesn't look like we peaked at all. I've been sharing with you guys the fact that we haven't hit peak euphoria yet at all. We kind of compare and contrast where we basically are in the past, but it's hard to say exactly where we are, and it's also hard to say exactly where we are headed to. But I will say this: Bitcoin right now from its highs back in November was down about roughly 63.45% at our bottoming point that we recently had in the beginning of May. Now, the reason why I share with you guys this and the reason why I talk to you guys about it is because roughly in a bear market, Bitcoin will come down 80 plus percent. If we were to do 80 plus percent, we would break the all-time high of 2017-2018's bull run, which is the first time that we would ever actually do that in history of Bitcoin. In the history of Bitcoin, we've never broken down below the previous all-time highs. This is also why I do believe that we will go even higher on Bitcoin. And I've shared my, topping points on Bitcoin. It's roughly between that $100,000 level and like $160,000. And, I think that that is a pretty safe area to really kind of address and watch for. But we don't really need to go too high. We just need to go high enough where we don't break down below the 20K zone. And that's why I do believe a lot of people were also, saying like 160K or even like 200K, because we kind of look at the, percentage fractal here, and like even for an example, at $160,000, 87% would bring us down to the previous all-time high. But ultimately, Bitcoin never really kind of breaks down too much. From the 80% range. For an example, going back to 2017-2018's all-time high and going off of the all-time low, it was like roughly 84%. If we did a nice 84% drop from about 160K, it would be testing the floor that we kind of just tested recently at about like 25.3K. Now, I know that this isn't incredible support or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that it's incredible support, but it would be pretty significant to see something like this where we have that nice run up to 160K and a fall back down to around this range here. Now, I'm not going to share with you guys too much on my targets on the all-time high for, Bitcoin and where I do believe that this will top out on. I just don't believe our top has recently been put in. I don't really care how high Bitcoin goes, just as long as we, I'll even take a run back to the all-time high at this point, to be completely honest with you guys, because that is enough to push altcoins significantly higher. But I do believe that we will see a wave 5. And of course, I just want you guys to understand that you don't need to follow through with this. You don't need to do what anybody else is doing in this game. You could have a mind of your own. You don't need to follow what I do. The only reason why I believe that we are going to see a wave 5 and a massive blow off top is because we haven't really seen a major peak here. We haven't seen that peak to peak run that we usually do see, and you guys can see that on this chart here. I mean, to me personally, we still have an incredible year ahead. We still have, an incredible time ahead as well for a lot of altcoins. It's just going to, be more pain right now that we have to endure on a lot of altcoin holdings while Bitcoin kind of, stabilizes, if you will. But again, a wave 5 is not guaranteed. A blow off top is not guaranteed. We could actually still, fall down from here and, do something that we've never seen in history, which is break the yearly or the all-time high from 2020, 2020 or 2018. Wow, I can't even talk. 2018 and 2017's all-time high, and we could just kind of fall down. And, a few levels have always been around like the 10K zone and the 13K zone that a lot of people have been touting. But in my opinion, when we look at the levels that we have on the board, there's a few levels that I definitely am watching for. And I think that this is also where a lot of individuals, lows come in, where like they've been calling for Bitcoin to come down to this specific level, that specific level. We're watching these levels here. You have the 2-year moving average, the 3-year moving average, and the 4-year moving average. And this is between 21.5K to 26.8K and even 35.7K. And then we do see the Bitcoin's current price at the time that this chart was posted. We're definitely watching between the 4 and the 3-year. We still will most likely hold the Confluence floor model, which is 27.7K. We're definitely watching that closely, but in my opinion, we will see that one last major sweep of the lows. This will hurt altcoins greatly, but it will also allow for us to get into some nice, incredible levels on a lot of altcoins. It's going to be a buy point, and I do think that a lot of people should definitely be focused on that because that's going to be the time that we really kind of, start to say, all right, yeah, this is the level that we want to be buying at. This is where we should be buying at as well. And also, just so that you guys know, as everybody is bearish, institutional investors are accumulating while everybody is fearful. We did see institutional investors accumulate staggering $298 million in Bitcoin as Ethereum, Solana, and additional altcoins tread water. We also seen Fidelity. Fidelity added crypto to investors' accounts just before the crypto winter. It's still betting big on crypto investing by doubling their numbers in terms of their employees. We do see Fidelity's digital assets arm is doubling its headcount on the bet that institutional investor interest in crypto will preserve. I do believe so as well. Institutional investors have been flooding in. We've also seen the Canadian Bitcoin Purpose Spot ETF has reached a new all-time high in assets under management with 43.7K Bitcoin. Pretty significant. And I definitely do think that when we talk about on-chain metrics and things like that, we did see here addresses with at least 0.01 Bitcoin just hit an all-time high at, almost 10.1 million addresses. And you guys do see exactly what ends up happening when this does start to climb. We make new all-time highs on, the price chart. So, we're definitely watching this closely. We got to see what exactly happens. But in my opinion, if I had to make a statistical guess on things that I do know around this market, meaning accumulation happening, where we basically are, and, did we actually top out on Bitcoin? In my opinion, we most likely will see that one last major Wave 5 run. It could take us all the way to 2023. It could happen even before 2023. We have to watch the timeline closely and the price action. But in my opinion, our all-time high on Bitcoin will most likely be between $100,000 and $160,000, and I'm actually betting on a little bit higher, right? Because again, you look at the 80% drops, and even say for so like the 1618 is our all-time high. You look at this. 80% would take us right, below the 2017-2018 all-time highs. So, in my opinion, that's impossible for us to actually top out there. I would say that our bottom could be, the summer lows. And if we do talk about that in a little bit of a limelight, so just for the sake of this video, I'm not going to talk to you guys too much about this, but it would be our all-time high basically being between like that $183,000 level in order for us to have that 84% drop and test the bottom support level of the summertime demand zone, which would be pretty significant. I would definitely like to see, something like this happen, but it's hard to say exactly where we are going to top out on, but that would be my opinion. But it's definitely, up there in the $100,000 plus range for Bitcoin in terms of its topping point. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As those up, that you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.